Welcome back, everyone. Before we dive in, make sure you drop your thoughts and the lessons you took from this story in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it. My name is Camille Rhodes, and I am 32 years old. The night my fiancé called our future marriage a statistical risk, something small and exhausted inside me set down the champagne flute, pushed in her chair, and quietly walked out of the version of me that still believed love and trust were the same thing. We were sitting in the corner booth of our favorite restaurant in downtown Charlotte, the one with dark wood, soft lighting, and the endless bread basket Jason always pretended to be too healthy for before eating half of it anyway. The server had just refilled our wine glasses. My phone, face down beside my plate, still held the email from our realtor open, the subject line glowing in my mind like a promise. Seller countered. If you go up another $50,000, the house is yours. Our house. Our dream house. I could see it in my head as clearly as the candle flickering between us. The blue shutters. The kitchen with the ridiculous farmhouse sink Jason had pretended not to care about, and then sent me faucets on social media at midnight. The tiny room off the stairs that we had argued over, my office, his gaming room, maybe a future nursery someday if we got that far. We had been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. Our wedding was 3 months away. Everything in my life felt like it was tilted toward this exact moment in time. A house, a new last name, a marriage, a life that felt mapped out down to the paint colors. Jason swirled the wine in his glass, shoulders relaxed, tie loosened from work, looking like a man who had good news. So, he said, easing into the word like it was a weather report, I have been thinking about where we are going to live after the wedding. I smiled automatically, the way you do when you think you already know the script. Yes, I said. Denise thinks if we push the offer another 50, the sellers will accept. I was going to call her tomorrow. His mouth twitched. Not quite a smile. Not quite a frown. About that, he said. My fork hovered halfway to my mouth. About what? The house. He took a breath and looked at me like he was about to explain compound interest or tax brackets, with the kind of careful patience people use when they assume you will not understand. I have decided, he said, to keep my apartment. I froze, the pasta on my fork suddenly heavy. As what? I asked, forcing my voice to stay light. A rental? An Airbnb? Investment property? I was already rearranging budgets in my head, moving numbers, being flexible, being understanding. The things good partners do. Jason shook his head. No, just to keep. For me. I blinked. I do not follow. He leaned forward, elbows on the table, voice soft, like he was being reasonable, like he was doing me a favor by looping me in. Look, Cam, statistics show a lot of marriages do not work out. Half, sometimes more, depending on whose study you look at. It is not emotional. It is just math. So I think it is smart if I keep my place. Just in case things do not work out between us. He said it so calmly that for a second my brain rejected the words like bad code. Just in case, I repeated slowly. Right, he said, brightening because he had found his metaphor. It is like insurance. You have car insurance, health insurance, renter's insurance. You do not plan to wreck your car or get sick, but you would be foolish not to prepare. This is the same. Practical. He gave me that boyish, charming smile that used to make me melt. I am being responsible. The restaurant sounds, clinking silverware, low music, laughter from the bar, faded to a dull hum underwater. I stared at him, cataloging details. The way his fingers traced the condensation on his glass. How he did not look nervous at all. No tremor in his voice. No hesitation. You practiced this, I said quietly. He blinked. What? This speech. How long have you been thinking about this? He shrugged. A while. I did not say anything, because I did not want to stress you out with the logistics. But now that the house is almost locked in, we need a real plan. Our wedding was 3 months away. He had watched me pin paint colors and light fixtures, listened to me talk about pantry organization and where we would put the Christmas tree. And somewhere behind all of that, he had been planning for our divorce. My chest felt tight, like someone had wrapped plastic around my ribs. So let me make sure I understand, I said. My voice sounded too even distant. Your plan is that I move out of my apartment, we move into the house, we start paying a mortgage, and you keep paying rent on your current place in case you want to move back there if we split. He smiled in relief. Exactly. You get it. It is just a safety net, Cam. Nothing has to change, really. We still get the dream house. I am just not burning all my bridges. I looked at him across that candlelit table and realized something terrifyingly simple. He was already halfway out the door. He just wanted me to decorate the hallway. Do not take it personally, he added quickly when he saw my face. It is not about you. It is about reality. You never know what might happen. People change, jobs change, feelings change. I am just thinking ahead. My fingers unclenched from around my fork. I set it down carefully, like it was made of glass. Right, I said. Reality. He relaxed again. Exactly. You are always so logical. I knew you would understand. So you will call Denise tomorrow about increasing the offer? It was surreal how easily he slid from, I am keeping my escape hatch back to, let us spend more money on our shared future. Our server appeared with dessert menus and a practiced smile. I smiled back, nodded. Asked about the chocolate tart like I was not sitting in the ruins of a life I thought I was building. Sure, I said finally, meeting Jason's hopeful eyes. Smart thinking. His shoulders dropped. Relief softened his face. Thank you. I knew you would see it that way. We finished dinner talking about centerpieces and playlists like he had not just scooped out something vital and called it logic. Outside the restaurant, he kissed my forehead, hands warm on my shoulders. You are the best, he murmured. We are going to have an amazing life. On the drive home, his words bounced around the car like an echo in an empty room. Amazing life. Just in case. He dropped me at my apartment with another quick kiss, already talking about his gym plans for the morning. When the door closed behind me, the silence of my one bedroom wrapped around me like a blanket and a chokehold at the same time. The soft lamplight, the stack of wedding magazines on the coffee table, the inspiration board on my laptop full of kitchen photos for a house that suddenly did not feel like ours. I kicked off my heels and sank onto the couch. My reflection in the dark television screen stared back at me, eyes too wide, lipstick still perfect, foundation cracked around the places where tears wanted to go but had not yet. I replayed his voice in my head. You do not plan to crash your car, but you would be foolish not to prepare. He was not preparing for a crash. He was assuming we were the kind of people who would steer straight into a wall. A different part of me, the part that handled spreadsheets and client negotiations and complex projects at work, slowly sat up inside my skull. If he was allowed insurance, so was I. On the coffee table, my phone lit up again with the email from Denise, our realtor. I picked it up, thumb hovering over the reply button. Tomorrow, he would expect me to call and say, we will go up 50. Instead, I opened a new message and hit the call button. Denise answered on the second ring, her voice brisk and cheerful. Camille, I was just thinking about you. Did you and Jason talk? Are we going in higher? I stared at the framed vision board on my wall. Families on porches, dogs in yards, holiday lights around railings. All the versions of home I had carried since I was a little girl. Hi, Denise, I said. My voice came out steady. Actually, plans have changed. There was a pause. Changed how? I need to withdraw our offer on the house. Silence stretched. I could almost hear her blinking. Withdraw? But you were so close. The sellers would probably accept another 15, 20 at most. Is everything all right? Did something show up on the inspection? We can negotiate. No, I said, cutting gently through her words. Nothing is wrong with the house. I am just reconsidering my options. Are you sure? She asked. I do not want you to lose a property you love. I looked around my apartment. It was small. The kitchen cabinets were dated. The view was a brick wall. But every inch of it was mine. Every bill in my name. Every choice unshared. For the first time all night, my lungs filled all the way to the bottom. I am sure, I said. Please withdraw the offer. All right, she said slowly. I will make the call first thing in the morning and send you confirmation. Thank you, Denise. I hung up and set the phone down, heart pounding, ears buzzing with the quiet. Across town, I pictured Jason climbing into his bed in the apartment he suddenly valued more than us, sleeping soundly, confident that his backup plan made him smart. If he gets to protect himself, I whispered into the room, so do I. Somewhere between my chest and my throat, that small, exhausted version of me who had walked out of the restaurant sat down at a different table, alone this time, spine straight, eyes open. The next morning, sunlight spilled through my curtains, sharp and honest. Jason texted at 7:03 a.m. Morning, babe. Do not forget to call Denise. Let us get that counter offer in. I stared at the screen for a long time, the blue bubble glowing like it belonged to a different life. Then I typed back, already handled it. I did not specify how. While I stirred my coffee, my laptop was open to a different message. A note from an old college friend, Tiffany, who managed property leases downtown. I had texted her late the previous night. "Do you still have that loft near the river? The one with the skylight?" She replied at dawn. "Yes. 1 bedroom plus office." "Are you sure you want it alone?" "Completely," I had written back. By 9, I was standing in front of the building. Modern lines, gray brick, tall windows, the kind of place where no one would ask whose toothbrush was in the bathroom. Tiffany met me in the lobby, carrying jangling. "You look like someone who made a big decision and slept badly," she said, pulling me into a quick hug. "Both accurate," I said. "Show me." The loft was perfect. Sunlight sliced across the polished concrete floor. A tiny balcony overlooked the street below. The kitchen was small but sleek, with cool marble counters that felt steady under my fingertips. There was an extra nook that could be an office or a reading corner, or just space that belonged only to me. I walked across the room slowly, feeling the echo of my own footsteps. No shared closet. No shared lease. No just in case hanging over my head. "Well?" Tiffany asked, watching my face. "I will take it," I said. She blinked. "Do you not want to see the other units? I have a bigger one on the 3rd floor." "No," I said. "This one is right." She smiled softly. "You sound sure." "I am." I signed the 2-year lease on the spot. The pen felt heavier than it should have. Maybe because for once, the only name on the line was mine. That evening, as I unpacked the first box of dishes in the loft, my phone rang. "Jason." I almost did not answer, but curiosity won. "Hey," I said lightly. "Hey, babe," he said, sounding cheerful and casual. "So, did you talk to Denise?" "I did," I said. "And I withdrew our offer." Silence, then a short, disbelieving laugh. "Wait, you what?" "I withdrew it," I repeated. "I told her we are reconsidering." He stopped laughing. "Why would you do that? We were this close to getting the house." I set a mug gently on the counter. "I got to thinking about what you said about being practical, about smart planning. You were right. We should not rush into something that big. So I signed a lease on a 1-bedroom loft instead." "You signed a lease?" His voice rose. "Like for yourself?" "Yes," I said. "For myself." There was a pause heavy enough to fill the whole loft. "A 1-bedroom," he said slowly. "What about me?" "You are keeping your apartment," I said. "Remember? Just in case. This place is perfect for just me." "That is not what I meant," he snapped. "I am keeping it as backup. We are supposed to live together." "Oh, that is confusing," I said softly. "When you said you were keeping your apartment just in case, I assumed you would be the one living there." "My mistake." He did not answer right away. I could practically hear him trying to find the version of me who would smooth this over. "Stop being petty," he finally said. "I am not," I replied. "I am being practical. Smart planning, remember? Insurance." "Camille, come on," he said. "We can fix this. Just call Denise back." "I have to go," I said. "Tiffany is helping me unpack." I hung up before he could respond. 20 minutes later, there was a furious knock at the door. I did not need to look through the peephole. I could feel his anger through the wood. When I opened it, Jason stood there, hair mussed, still in his work clothes, tie half off, eyes wide. He pushed past me without asking, looking around the loft like it had personally offended him. "We need to talk about this misunderstanding," he said. "What misunderstanding?" I asked. He gestured wildly at the boxes, the counters, the keys on the hook. "This. The house. The lease. You cannot just back out like that." "I can actually," I said. You opened my eyes. "It makes sense to protect myself, too." "That is not how it works," he snapped. "I keep my place as backup, but we live in the house together. So you would have an entire apartment sitting empty while I pay half the mortgage on a house you are hedging against." I asked. "That does not sound fair." "That is not what he ran a hand through his hair. "It is about security, just having options." "Then I am having mine," I said. He stared at me, searching for the woman who used to apologize first, who used to laugh off his thoughtless comments, who used to make his comfort her priority. She was not here anymore. "You are being dramatic," he said finally. "Or maybe I am finally paying attention," I said. The words landed between us like a slap. He flinched, then forced a smile. "Fine. You made your point. Now undo it." "I will not," I said. "You are seriously keeping this place?" "Yes." He looked around again, eyes gone flat. "You will regret this," he said. "Maybe," I answered. "But at least if I do, I will have somewhere to stay. Just in case." He left without another word, the door closing behind him with a crack that rattled the window. The next few days were a blur of boxes and silence. He did not text. I did not call. I went to work, came home to the loft, and slowly arranged my dishes and books like I was building a fortress. Then came the ambush. I was at the gym Saturday morning, earbuds in, halfway through my run when 3 women intercepted me near the water fountain. Candace, Rochelle, and Lena, Jason's closest friends. "Hey, Camille," Candace said, crossing her arms. "We need to talk." I pulled out one earbud. "About what?" "About Jason," Rochelle said. "Obviously." Lena stepped closer, eyes sharp. "You are ruining his life over nothing." I blinked. Sweat cooled on my skin. "Nothing. He has been miserable," Candace said. "He was just being smart about the apartment. You know how things can go." "So do I said. Rochelle sighed. "He loves you. You are overreacting." "Interesting," I said. "When he plans for our marriage to fail, it is logical. But when I plan for my independence, it is overreacting." They exchanged looks. Lena's voice softened a fraction. "You make more money than he does. You do not have to worry about security the way we do." I took a long drink from my water bottle, keeping my eyes on hers. "So let me see if I understand. I am supposed to bankroll the house, ignore his escape plan, and feel flattered that he is planning for our failure because I can afford to." None of them answered. The thump of treadmills and clank of weights filled the space around us. "I see," I said finally. "Then maybe he should marry one of you. It sounds like you understand his insurance policies better than I do." Candace's mouth opened, but I was already walking away, my sneakers squeaking against the gym floor. That night, alone in the loft, I sat by the window and watched the city glow. The hum of cars below, the pulse of nightlife, all of it felt slightly removed, like I had stepped sideways into a new version of my life. I thought about the look on Jason's face when I told him the offer was withdrawn. The disbelief, the outrage, the way people react when their own logic is mirrored back at them, and they do not like what they see. He wanted to keep a door open. Fine. So did I. I texted Denise. "Thank you for handling the withdrawal so quickly." Then I sent a secure message to my bank asking for confirmation that the earnest money from the offer had fully returned to my account. If Jason had taught me anything, it was that trust might be beautiful, but documentation was safer. A few days later, Jason's name lit up my phone again. "Can we talk tomorrow, please?" he wrote. "I want to fix this." I looked at the text for a long time, then set the phone face down on the table. The following Wednesday, my phone started buzzing before I finished my first coffee. At first, I thought it was work. Early client messages. But then I saw the names. Angela Reed and Nicole Reed, Jason's mother and sister. And beneath those, a string of missed calls from Jason himself. By noon, there was a knock at my door. Sharp, measured, the kind of knock you cannot pretend not to hear. I opened it to find Angela standing there, her pearl earrings catching the light, Nicole hovering behind her with her arms folded tight. "Camille," Angela began, her tone walking the line between kindness and command. "May we come in?" "Of course," I said, stepping aside. Angela walked in like she was touring a property, eyes flicking over the open floor plan, the minimalist furniture, the echo of independence in every corner. "This is smaller than I imagined," she said finally. "Perfect for one," I replied, offering tea I knew they would not accept. Nicole skipped the pleasantries. "Jason is upset," she said. "He says you blindsided him." I set the kettle down a little too hard. "He blindsided me first." Angela exhaled softly. "He was being cautious, dear. The world is not easy for young men anymore. He just wanted security." I almost laughed. "Security," I repeated. What a gentle word for distrust. "With respect, Angela, I wanted security too. I just chose a different kind." She folded her hands. "Jason told me you withdrew your offer on the house." "That is right." "You did not think to consult him first?" "He did not consult me before announcing he would keep a separate life," I said. "I simply used the same strategy." Nicole scoffed. "You are being vindictive." I looked at her. "If equality feels like vengeance, maybe you are not used to being equals." Her mouth fell open. Angela reached for grace again. "This is not the Camille we know. Jason said you were rational." "I am," I said. "That is why I am not signing a 30-year mortgage with someone already drafting our exit strategy." For a long moment, no one spoke. The kettle began to whistle softly, the only sound in the room. Finally, Angela said, "You love my son, do you not?" I met her eyes. Yes, but I love myself too. I just stopped pretending those things are mutually exclusive. She blinked, looking suddenly unsure, like I had handed her a puzzle with no corner pieces. Nicole tugged on her mother's arm. We are wasting our time. Let us go. As they left, Angela turned back once, her face a mix of pity and confusion. You will regret losing him, Camille. Men like Jason do not come around often. When the door shut behind them, I whispered to the empty room, let us hope not. That night, the situation found an audience. I had not checked social media all day, but when my phone pinged with 3 notifications from the same post, curiosity won. Jason had uploaded a photo of himself in front of a mirror, suit jacket slung over his shoulder, expression carefully casual. The caption read, "Love my new place. Perfect for the bachelor life." The comments were already a mess. Candace, wait, what? I thought the wedding was in 2 months. Rochelle, just joking. Last days of freedom. Lena, trouble in paradise? And there it was. My name tagged underneath. I did not comment. I did not have to. By morning, my phone was chaos. Friends, co-workers, my Aunt Valerie in Houston, all asking some version of, "Are you okay? What happened?" Jason called at 9. I let it ring out. Then he texted, "This is getting out of hand. You made me do this." I laughed out loud in my kitchen. Out of hand, I repeated to myself. No, this was his hand. He had just finally shown the cards. That afternoon, there was another knock at the door, louder this time. When I opened it, it was not just Jason. Angela and Nicole were with him again, and this time, none of them looked polite. "How dare you?" Jason started before I could speak. "Bachelor life? Really? Are you trying to humiliate me?" "Interesting," I said, leaning against the doorframe. "Because when you humiliated me with your insurance policy, I was expected to be understanding." "This is not about the apartment anymore," he snapped. "This is about respect. Then you should have thought about that before you announced to everyone that you do not trust your fiancé," I said. Angela stepped forward. "Jason made one small request. One small request that told me everything," I interrupted. Nicole crossed her arms. "You are overreacting." I smiled faintly. It is surprising how often women hear that when they stop accepting less. Jason's voice finally cracked, the polished calm fracturing. "I just wanted security for my future wife," he said. "And I wanted honesty for my future husband," I replied. We stood there, the air between us thick and bitter. Then my phone buzzed in my pocket. I glanced down. A message from Denise. I read it once, twice, then lifted my eyes back to Jason. "You tried to buy the house," I said quietly. "Did you not?" His expression flickered. "What?" "She just called," I said. "You called her yesterday asking if the house was still available. You told her you wanted to purchase it yourself." Angela's head snapped toward him. "Jason," he stammered. I was just exploring options." "Options," I repeated. "Like using my original deposit as part of your solo down payment?" His silence was answer enough. Angela looked horrified. Nicole's jaw dropped. "You said you did not want it," Jason said at last, defensive. "I was trying to fix things. By putting my name on a loan I did not approve?" I asked. "It is not like that," he protested. "It is exactly like that," I said. For a moment, I saw the man I had loved buried under all that fear and arrogance. The man who once whispered about forever at a quiet table. But that man had become someone else, someone who built contingency plans for betrayal and called it foresight. Angela's voice was small. "Maybe this is just a misunderstanding." "It is not," I said. "It is a revelation." Jason's voice broke into a plea. "I did all of this because I love you." I met his eyes. "No. You did all of this because you do not." The room went quiet except for the faint hum of the city outside. "You want an insurance policy, Jason?" I said softly. "Consider this the claim being filed." I walked to the door and opened it wide. He hesitated, eyes shiny, mouth trembling. Angela took his arm, guiding him toward the hall. Nicole glared at me over her shoulder. "You are throwing away everything," she said. "I am keeping what is mine," I replied. The door clicked shut behind them, leaving me with my reflection in the window, a woman who had finally stopped negotiating with fear. I picked up my phone and typed one line into my notes. If he wants insurance, he can insure his own loneliness. Then I set the phone down and breathed. The fallout arrived quickly. By the weekend, the story had spread through family group chats and social media threads. Each one twisted the truth into whatever version made people most comfortable. Jason's friend said I panicked. His mother said I embarrassed him. His sister chose the modern favorite. Camille is emotionally unavailable. None of them mentioned the part where he tried to buy a house behind my back using my money. None of them wanted to say the word fraud. I did not argue. I did not defend myself. I had the lease, the messages, the dates, the receipts. People always reveal who they are when you stop playing along. A few days later, Denise called again. Camille, she said, a strange mix of disbelief and amusement in her voice. You are not going to believe this. That sentence never ends well, I said. Go ahead. Jason just called me again, she said. He wanted to know if there were any first-time buyer programs he could apply for a loan. A loan? I repeated. Yes, she said. He mentioned you two restructuring your finances. I let out a slow breath. What did you tell him? I told him the house he wanted is already sold and that he would need 20% down for a property that size, she said. Then he asked if he could use the deposit you already put down as part of his down payment. I laughed before I could stop myself. He did not. Oh, he did, she said. I told him no. Obviously. He hung up on me. Thank you, Denise, I said. For everything. Do not take this the wrong way, she said gently, but you avoided something big. I know, I said quietly. I finally saw it before it hit me. A week later, new invitations appeared online. Beautiful cream-colored cards with embossed lettering. The digital design had both our names. Camille Rhodes and Jason Reed invite you to celebrate their wedding and new home. Beneath the script font was an address, the same address of the house we had withdrawn from. My mother called that night, her voice tight with worry. Honey, people are calling me asking if you moved back in with him. What is this address on the invitations? I closed my eyes. Mom, I did not make those invitations. So he is? Yes, I said. He is pretending we still bought the house. Oh, Camille, she whispered. By morning, messages were pouring in. Trevor from work. Congratulations on the new place. Candace. So glad you two worked things out. People congratulating a ghost. I sent Jason one message. Take down the invitations. Tell people the truth. He replied almost instantly. Buy the house and it will be the truth. I stared at the text before answering. It is already sold, Jason. Then buy a different one, he wrote. With what down payment? I asked. You are keeping all your savings for your apartment. Use your savings, he wrote. The ones you used for your loft. No, I typed. I will pass. That evening, there was another knock. When I opened the door, Jason was alone but carrying a white folder, his expression buzzing with manic optimism. I found the solution, he announced, walking straight to the counter and laying the folder down like it was a gift. Inside were loan documents for a house in a cheaper neighborhood. My name was typed neatly across the top. Camille Rhodes, primary borrower. My stomach went cold. You started a loan application in my name? It is perfect, he said. The payment is less than the other house. You can afford it alone. Then we will transfer it after the wedding. Jason, this is fraud, I said. It is not fraud, he insisted. We are getting married. We are not married yet, I said. And you are keeping a separate apartment. He rubbed his forehead like I was the unreasonable one. Stop twisting things. It is just paperwork. No, I said. It is a preview. His jaw tightened. If you do not fix this, the wedding is off. Okay, I said. He blinked. That is all you have to say? Yes, I said. If the price of marrying you is signing a loan I did not authorize, I will save the down payment and my sanity. You cannot call my bluff like that, he said. I just did, I replied. He stormed out, slamming the door so hard the window rattled. By the next morning, the story hit social media again. Nicole posted first. My brother deserves better than a woman who will not commit. Camille is toxic. Candace followed. She is obsessed with control. He just wanted to protect himself. Rochelle added. Imagine not trusting your own fiancé. I read every twisting, self-justifying sentence, and for the first time in my life, felt no urge to correct anyone. The truth was louder than any rumor. I had the lease. I had the emails. I had the timeline. 2 weeks before the wedding date, it was official. Jason canceled the venue. He told his friends it was mutual. Mutual, though only one of us ended up filing a fraud alert with the bank. Mutual, though only one of us spent nights rewriting what safety meant. The night before what would have been our wedding, I poured a glass of wine and stood at the loft window. The city lights looked softer now, less like a battlefield and more like a map of exits I had already taken. My phone buzzed. Jason, one last time. The apartment is too expensive on one income. My mom will not help. I had to sell my car. This is your fault. I took a slow sip of wine, then typed one line back. No, it is your insurance premium. I set the phone down, turned off the light, and watched my reflection fade into the night outside. The quiet did not feel empty anymore. It felt earned. A week later, I joined a new cycling group that rode along the river trail on Saturdays. That is where I met Wesley. He asked if I wanted to grab coffee after the ride. I said yes, not because I was desperate to start over, but because I was not afraid anymore. In the little cafe near the trail, he listened while I told him I used to be engaged. He did not ask, "What went wrong?" He asked, "What did you learn?" I told him the truth. That some people build safety nets under love because they are already planning to fall. He nodded, thoughtful. "And you?" he asked. "I stopped auditioning for people who treat trust like a negotiable clause," I said. He smiled, small and quiet. "That sounds like a solid policy." Months later, I heard through a mutual acquaintance that Jason still had his apartment and a new roommate, one of a friend's cousins. Apparently, she kept her own place too, just in case. I almost laughed when I heard that, because I finally understood something. Some people mistake fear for foresight. But me? I would rather risk heartbreak than live half a life waiting for it. Jason called it being practical. I called it showing his true colors. He kept his apartment just in case. I kept my dignity for good. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful story drop.